Good afternoon, Jason Shepard here with the Anchor Room. Going to do a video on the amber corners, the reflector here on the 2015 Mustang. We have had so many requests for an installation video on this that we finally decided to just go ahead and make one, since it must be a necessity. Want to point out we're the ones that make that amber corner tint as well as the blackout. Today we're going to do the blackout, which we think looks best with our Mustang, since it's black, especially since it's black. Also nicely little details here, as you can tell, the little contours we follow in our design, and I think that's obviously why we have the best-selling amber corner piece on the market. Tools we're going to use today are real simple. We're going to use a felt tip squeegee, a microfiber towel. We're going to use application fluid, which is 2 to 3 heavy drops of dishwashing liquid to 32 ounces of water, and then water by itself. Process is real simple. All of our vinyl is cut with a slight overlap to make sure it tapers over the edges and underneath to give it the absolute best look. First, you want to make sure the lens is absolutely perfectly clean. We've already cleaned our lens, as you can tell. The car is already wet, and then we're going to install the actual item. I'm going to start with the application fluid again, which is that soapy water. Spray it liberally. You really cannot use too much of that stuff. Then peel the actual blackout from the backing material. Spray the adhesive or back side of it heavily also with the application fluid. And at this point you can pretty much just lay it on the lens. And you're going to try to find some nice points. As you can tell, I'm letting it just rest on the bottom. That seems to do the best job. And then with one finger probably holding it in place. I like to rinse my hands too. With 1 or 2 or 3 fingers in place, spray the plain water over top, and what that will do is remove some of the soapy residue. Now, as you can tell, she still moves. Again, I want to point out, you want to make sure you're far enough in the back. You don't want to go underneath the lens at this point because you won't have enough material for the top. So you want to hold it in place once again and continue to spray heavily with water. And of course, the more soap that you remove from underneath, you can tell it's already starting to stick. Alright, same concept with everything else that we do when it comes to vinyl. We want to make sure that we work from the center of the piece out. I'm pre-wetting the squeegee, just glides a little easier. And then we'll go from the center of the blackout in this case. And look, she just moved, so you just gotta be careful. Out. Now you will also notice we got a couple of fingers there, and I guess that's the main concern with a lot of people, and that's what we're going to address today. Fingers are when you're trying to lay a flat piece of vinyl on a curved surface, in this case that headlight. And you know, it's obviously very common for it to happen. What we're going to work with today to make sure those fingers go away is our good old trusty heat gun. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but we're going to work these fingers out one by one. Make sure the decal itself is plenty wet. And of course the microfiber towel that we're using. I like to start up front because I like to make sure that that bad boy tucks underneath. Apply a little heat. And use your microfiber towel to lay it flat. And just work your way slowly but surely down the line. And remember, you don't want to keep heat in one place too long, obviously. If you do that, then you run the risk of potentially damaging the paint, or in our case we have a clear bra on the car. And like I said, you just kind of work your way down the car. And as I always try to tell people, there is no such thing as too much liquid. Again, it's just going to wash away a lot of that soapy residue. So what heat will do too from the heat gun obviously is it'll make it taper nice and neat. We can always use our squeegee also. Look at that, to press out a lot of that liquid. I guess being patient is probably one of the biggest things. Now working at the bottom. Hope you guys can see this. Again, from the center out. And once in a while a finger will pop back up, and all that is obviously this vinyl letting you know, hey, there's still too much soap underneath there. And you spray her down again. And just continue working on it. As you can tell, she's falling right into place. Pretty much all the way down. The thing at this point we have to worry about, looks like, might be the back side and tapering this material underneath the lens. And of course you can do that with that squeegee also, using the flat side over here. Finalize that installation. Alright guys, I hope that gave you some better insight and makes a little bit of difference. Again, we really appreciate your support, and hope you have a great day. Take care.